The Ultraversity, Part 3. Its purpose, structure, and methods. The purpose of the Ultraversity is to direct the course of human affairs so that we may attain a new and higher order of existence, to lead our civilization to a higher plane than it has now attained. The armamentarium of the Ultraversity will be knowledge, and its strength will be in the loyalty of all men who believe our civilization is worth saving. It will be a supranational source of guidance to states, nations, and all human institutions. The structure of the Ultraversity will include every university in all countries, every institution of learning, every research organization, the faculties of these institutions, present and former students. All such institutions and individuals automatically become members of the Ultraversity. All members carry a responsibility for maintaining the activities of the Ultraversity, and all facilities of members will be available for research, for disseminating findings, and for the application of the advice of the Ultraversity when and where required. Participation of all members in all countries would be the ideal situation for the Ultraversity, but its practical functioning can be achieved under less than ideal conditions. All that is now required to bring the Ultraversity into active existence is the organization of the Keystone Group, the executive branch, comprising a Senate and Secretariat, through which the integration of its elements will be effected. The initiative in organizing the Ultraversity should be taken in the United States. A small group of presidents of the large universities summoned for informal discussion could call a meeting of presidents of all colleges and universities in the country. A similar procedure in Great Britain, as nearly simultaneous as possible, would be desirable. A joint temporary organization could be arranged for further expansion and a permanent structure. It would be desirable to have a committee representing the universities, etc., of each country as the invited guests of the Senate as temporarily organized, so that they can be directly informed of structure, plans, purposes of the Ultraversity, and the duties of its members and officers, the benefits of cooperation and the effects of non-cooperation. Any individual affected by any situation, local, national, or international, which comes within the scope of the Ultraversity, has the right to petition it for research which will lead to a statement setting forth the most desirable procedure. All conclusions stated by the Ultraversity will be applicable to all individuals, institutions, states, and nations affected. All persons associated with the Ultraversity will be responsible for making the conclusions effective within the sphere of their jurisdiction. Any person, institution, organization, municipality, state, or nation failing in their responsibility to the Ultraversity, or ignoring its conclusions, may be caused to lose the benefit of any or all information, mechanisms, materials, systems, services, etc., which incorporate or utilize in any way research, knowledge, information, etc., which emanated from or was disseminated by any institution of learning. The Ultraversity will function as trustee of this knowledge and the utilization of all things dependent upon it. The Ultraversity will provide for effective control through its members and, when necessary, through any proctors which it may deputize. Anyone utilizing anything under the control of the Ultraversity may be deputized by it for any purpose. It will be recognized that control of all knowledge and its applications gives complete control of all private, public, political, and military objects, systems, and organizations, and that their use may be advised, or it may be stated that their use is contraindicated. If military objects are used contrary to advice, the user stands to lose all fruits of victory and to be classified as a person incompetent to assume any responsibilities in any affairs involving a second person. If a person is so deprived of the benefit of any facilities under the control of the Ultraversity, either method of discipline may be used. The facilities may be withheld from the individual, or the individual may be removed from the facilities. The proposal herein contained, to have the Ultraversity assume authority and control over knowledge and its application, is merely making retroactive and universal a procedure now being followed by a number of universities in setting up patent-holding organizations which administer patents on discoveries made by members of the faculty. Such organizations are the Wisconsin Alumni Research Foundation and University Patents, Inc., Columbia. Had it been the practice from the earliest days to follow this plan, the Ultraversity would have been a natural and inevitable result through ownership and control of all inventions and methods of production. In brief, the Ultraversity will set up a pattern for our civilization and will direct the process of adjusting the present situation to the new pattern. Setting up the new pattern is not a matter of choice but of necessity, since the present situation, despite all efforts to preserve it, will disintegrate and lead to chaos if its principles are continued in operation. The new pattern is based upon no existing political doctrine, but will result from the application of existing scientific knowledge and the scientific method to social, economic, international, and intranational problems. In arriving at the new pattern, not only will knowledge from academic sources be utilized, but also from the social, economic, and political world. But the initiative, executive direction, and decisions will rest with the Ultraversity. The Senate of the Ultraversity, its faculty, its members, and all others who are called upon to aid in its researches, deliberations, and conclusions, will not be subject to control, discipline, influence, or pressure of any kind by any outside individual, institution, power, or state. All communications to and from the Ultraversity or its auxiliaries will be privileged and cannot be censored, delayed, or interfered with. The Ultraversity should be supported by a voluntary tax on its members. This would not be a permanent solution of the maintenance problem. Under an economic system of permanent stability, the services of the Ultraversity will be recognized as of supreme value to all people and will be paid for as are all other valuable services.